not shiny where we put the white ink. Yosh! Welcome to a long-awaited video where I'm going to teach y'all how to make your own custom cards. I've been waiting a while to do this video series, and I wanted to just get all the information together in a way that's digestible and helps you get started on making your own custom cards. So the first and most important thing is you need something to print on. I have custom made cardstock that I designed and have manufactured that I will be selling that you can buy if you want to use to make your own cards. Or you can go out and buy metal or buy cards or whatever. There's ways to get stuff to print on. So the first thing you need is something to print on. Once you have something to print on, you need a file to print. So I commission all of my art these days, but when I started, I was a pirate just like you, and you can pirate your own art off the internet somewhere. It's really nice to ask artists if you can use their art or send them some money for using their art or whatever. But at this point, all my art is commissioned. This is an artist on Instagram, HZ19Art. You should check him out. His art is amazing. I actually met him through doing a giveaway and have created a really cool relationship with this artist. And I'm gonna be basically showing you how to make this card in this video. So the first thing you need is a file. Here we have a file that we got from this artist. He sent us this, and it's a Photoshop file. So what's nice about this is that it has layers that have everything broken up, because when we make this card, we actually need to generate multiple images. And once we have those multiple images, we print them in sequence in order to make the card look like this. This technique is called reverse hologram. You can see some areas of the card are shiny, some areas are not shiny, and I'm gonna show you all how to do that. So basically you get your art and you're gonna open it up in Photoshop or whatever design program you use. Here we have this in Photoshop, and you can see over here there's all these layers. So when we're working with the layers, basically you wanna save your source file, which is essentially gonna be this image. And then the next thing you wanna do is you wanna figure out what you want to be holographic and what you want to be not holographic. For the simplicity of this video, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn all these layers off, and let's say that we want all of this stuff here that's, you can see, is going to be not holographic. So everything that is shown right now, we're just going to say that's going to be the non-holographic part. Now you can always edit out parts of this if you want to do details. I usually do details in my graphics, and actually here I think he did details, so we have a layer that says details, so we can just turn those off. And we'll say those are going to be holographic if we wanted, but I'm just going to leave everything on. Once you have that all together, we're going to save this file, save as a copy so it takes up less space. And we'll just save it as, you know, I like to put OPQ for opaque, because that's essentially what this layer is. And then we would save that. Now I already have it saved, so I'm going to leave it saved the way that I have it. And then we would have that file in our source material. Now we're going to go back to the original image, and the next thing we need to do is prepare a file that we're going to use for the texture. So to do the texture, I usually just do the clear line work and some details. So we're just going to go ahead again and turn everything off here, except the line work, and we'll leave these details on, and we'll make those textured as well. So once we have this, we would save this file and save this as like the clear layer or something like that. Now once we have all of our files prepared, we want to open a new folder or a new file. The parameters I like to use are 65 by 90 millimeters, and I print at 1200 DPI, which is a little insane. I think most people that are printing you're going to be printing probably around 150 or 300 is pretty normal, but the printer I use is pretty OP, so we're going to get to that part, but I print at 1200 DPI. So we're going to create that file, and then from this artboard, we're going to create 3 separate images. And the way that we do that is we're going to bring our color layer in, which is our final image, and then we're going to bring the opaque layer in, which we made here. And then after we bring the opaque layer in, we're going to bring the clear layer in. So get one more, and this is our third file, the clear here, and then we'll just drag this clear layer in here. And once we have all 3 of these files, we need to resize them. So if you hold Shift and click all your layers so they're all collected, you can transform them together by pressing Command T in Photoshop, and then you can resize this image to the artboard that you want to use, and now we have the right size for the image. I overprint my cards slightly by about a millimeter in each direction, so I have a little bleed, so I always print to the edge of the card. The thing you're going to want to do here is you get your original image. This is what our color image is going to be. So this is going to be kind of the master image that we have, and we'll save this as, you know, on the computer somewhere, Zorro, and then save that. And I like to save as a TIFF. That's the file format that I usually use. After we save that file, then we're gonna save the opaque. But what we wanna do on the opaque is we wanna make sure everything is the same color. I'm gonna go ahead and rasterize this layer because it's a smart object right now, and then double click it and do a color overlay. This is gonna make all the pixels one color, and that's essentially what we need in order to tell the RIP software that we want to create white ink out of this image, because the white ink is what's going to create the reverse hologram. And then we'll save that file as, you know, Zorro opaque or something like that, and we'll have that in a folder. And then after that, we're going to go to our clear layer, and we're going to do the same thing here where we do a color overlay on here. Once this is all one color, then we can save this again as the Zorro clear wherever we have that. And then we have our 3 files. So you can also do other stuff in here. You can add details, you can do other things. I do some of that. I'm not going to go into those specific details. But basically, once you have your 3 images, you have your card, and then you're going to take those files, save them onto some sort of a flash drive, and get them ready to put over on your RIP software. Yosh! Welcome to the studio. So I got my big old TV screen here. I like this because I can see things like full size. And then we got the printer over here. Using a Mimaki UJF7151 Plus 2. This is a very serious printer. If you're going to do UV printing, I would highly recommend not buying like the $3,000 Alibaba UV printer, because you're just going to waste $3,000. You're really looking to spend like $30K or more on one of these things. It's a big investment. But anyway, this is the printer, and then we're going to go over here. The files that I showed you in the last video, we've loaded them into the computer and generated our special plates from them. So what I mean by special plate is basically, remember this image was all red, this image was all blue. We told the computer to take the blue pixels and turn them into white, and we told the computer to take the pixels from this that were in color and turn them into clear. And it doesn't see the white as valid pixels, so that's why we left that as the negative space. Now, once we have these files, we can set them up all properly, and then we go over to our jig, and once we have the jig, then we can get them set up where we're going to print them. So in order to make a jig, you can make an outline of the card and then print that outline of the card on your computer's jigging format or RIP software format. So this is our jig over here. So we know exactly where to place the cards, and the printer's going to know where to print the cards. Now you may notice that some of these holograms look different. This is some special holographic material that I designed that I may possibly be selling, but I'm just testing right now. This is what I call a test print. Whenever I do a print, I always test the same copies that I'm printing for the final run, because I want to make sure that the print is good everywhere and that my final version is going to come out correctly. So we have all the cards on the bed, and now we're going to close this up and we're going to send our files. So the first file that we send is the opaque layer, or the white ink. So we're going to send this file to the printer. Then the next file we're going to send is the color, which is this file here, and that's all set up. And then finally we're going to send the clear. And the clear is essentially what's going to create that texture for us on the cards that you may have seen. And now these files head over to the printer. The print head has that information. The bed will go into the printer any moment now, just like that. And then as this goes in, the ink will start getting laid down. The first thing that's going to get laid down is white ink. I'll open this up here so we can get a look and see what that's going to look like. And the printer just moves across, and we're going to print these cards, and I'll show you the finished product once this is done, this process. Alright, so that's it. The printer is done printing, and here we have our beautiful cards. You can see these cool shiny effects, and it's not shiny where we put the white ink, and then where we have this texture is where we set up the clear ink. So that's how you use 3 images to break down a file and make some really cool custom cards on a UV printer. I've been waiting to do this video for a very long time, so thank you all for waiting. and checking out the process. I hope this helps. Please ask if you have any questions in the comments. I'll do my best to respond to them in a timely manner. But as you know, I am a dentist. I can't end without doing a dental tooth tip. In the same way that these shiny cards are treasure, your teeth are treasure because they have crystals in them. That's right, your enamel is made out of something called hydroxyapatite, which is a crystalline structure, and it's even more treasure than these shiny cards. Oh yeah, Ace is coming too, so check that out. It's gonna be hot. Jana, matana, thank you.
Welcome to my favorite holiday for 120